1. What is the primary purpose of the degrees of reading power DRP test in evaluating reading comprehension? A. To assess a reader's ability to recall factual information. B. To measure the fluency of reading. C. To evaluate a reader's ability to interpret and understand increasingly complex texts. D. To analyze the reader's speed in reading a passage. 2. Which of the following best describes the DRP test's approach to adult learning principles? A. It focuses solely on vocabulary comprehension. B. It emphasizes skills applicable to real-world reading scenarios. C. It tests memorization of facts. D. It has no practical applications beyond academic settings. 3. How does the DRP test evaluate a learner's comprehension of complex texts? A. By providing multiple-choice questions with limited context. Through the analysis of reading passages that progressively increase in difficulty. C. Through written essays based on reading materials. D. By administering a speed reading test. 4. One is a key feature of the DRP test that aligns with adult learning theory. A. It focuses on memorization of vocabulary. It integrates reading tasks that require higher-order thinking. It provides immediate feedback after each question. D. It requires students to write responses without any reading material. 5. Which of the following evaluation methods is most likely used in the DRP test to assess reading comprehension? A. Peer review. B. Oral presentations. C. Written responses to reading passages. D. Timed quizzes. 6. What role does regulatory compliance play in the implementation of the DRP test? A. Ensuring that reading materials are suitable for all age groups. Guaranteeing that all test materials meet standardized testing regulations. C. Monitoring how quickly students complete the test. D. Verifying that the test is taken in a classroom environment. 7. How can mentoring techniques be integrated into the DRP test preparation? A. By focusing on group study sessions. Through personalized feedback and discussions on reading strategies. C. By assigning the same passages to all students regardless of their levels. D. By conducting tests without any prior instruction. 8. How does the DRP test measure a student's ability to adapt to various reading contexts? A. By testing students on a fixed set of reading materials. Through the inclusion of diverse passages from different genres and disciplines. C. By limiting the reading material to a single subject area. D. By focusing on text-heavy questions that do not require comprehension. 9. In the context of adult learning, what aspect of the DRP test is most critical for helping learners improve their reading skills? A. A single test score reflecting overall performance. The progressive increase in reading difficulty, challenging learners to grow their skills. C. The duration of the test, which encourages speed reading. D. The vocabulary list provided at the beginning of the test. 10. Which of the following strategies would best support a learner struggling with comprehension during DRP test preparation? Assigning additional reading without any feedback. Providing practice tests with immediate and specific feedback. C. Giving the learner the correct answers without explanation. D. Reducing the number of passages in each practice test. 11. How does the DRP test assess a learner's ability to evaluate their own understanding of a text? A. Through reflective essay questions after each passage. B. By providing a summary section where learners assess their comprehension. C. Through timed answers without reflection. D. By offering practice quizzes with no review options. 12. What makes the DRP test distinct from other reading comprehension assessments? It includes only narrative texts. It has a strong focus on the application of reading comprehension in real-world contexts. C. It uses only visual reading materials. D. It tests students on their ability to write essays under time pressure. 13. Which of the following best defines the DRP test's use of curriculum development in an adult education setting? A. Designing activities that do not require reading comprehension. B. Creating lessons that focus solely on passive reading. C. Developing reading tasks that support progressive skills development. D. Providing a set curriculum that is uniform across all learners. 14. In what way does the DRP test help improve communication skills in adults? A. By encouraging group discussions before the test. By offering reading tasks that require learners to summarize and communicate ideas effectively. C. By focusing on testing speed and accuracy rather than comprehension. D. By focusing only on written responses without feedback. 15. What is a common feature of the DRP test's passages used in adult learning environments? They focus on abstract concepts without providing real-world relevance. They include a broad range of topics, ensuring that learners are challenged in diverse areas. C. They only cover fictional narratives with no professional or academic context. D. They are very short, requiring little time to process. 16. How can the DRP test be adapted to better suit different learners' needs? A. By providing standardized test passages to all learners regardless of their skill levels. By offering differentiated reading passages and personalized feedback. C. By removing all textual material and focusing on multiple-choice questions alone. D. By allowing learners to choose their own passage topics. 17. What is the most appropriate way for an instructor to use the DRP test to mentor learners? A. By reviewing learners' test scores without offering personalized strategies. B. By analyzing learners' performance on different types of reading materials and offering guidance on improvement. C. By focusing only on the learner's speed during the test. D. By limiting the amount of reading material available to learners. 18. How does the DRP test assist in fostering critical thinking skills in learners? A. By testing only vocabulary and factual recall. E. By offering reading materials that require analysis and synthesis of complex ideas. C. By limiting responses to multiple-choice questions only. D. By providing simple comprehension tasks that do not require interpretation. 19. How is the content of the DRP test aligned with regulatory compliance for adult education? A. By ensuring that all passages are free from any controversial topics. B. By adhering to educational standards that guarantee fairness and accessibility for all learners. C. By allowing learners to select their preferred reading materials. D. By requiring learners to provide oral responses only. 20. Which of the following is a potential limitation of the DRP test in adult education? It only measures basic comprehension skills. E. It does not allow for personalized learning paths based on individual strengths and weaknesses. C. It focuses too much on speed rather than comprehension. D. It cannot assess critical thinking abilities effectively. 21. What is one benefit of using the DRP test in evaluating adult learners' reading abilities? It provides a one-size-fits-all assessment for all learners. It tracks learners' progress across various levels of reading complexity. C. It encourages passive learning without requiring engagement. D. It tests learners exclusively on literary works rather than informational texts. 22. How does the DRP test align with principles of evaluation in adult learning? A. It focuses only on grading based on memorization. B. It provides opportunities for formative assessments, allowing learners to improve over time. C. It uses a one-time assessment with no feedback for improvement. D. It ignores learners' progress and focuses solely on final test scores. 23. How can instructors use DRP test results to guide curriculum development for adult learners? A. By designing future lessons based solely on the scores from one test. B. By analyzing test performance and adapting content to challenge learners at appropriate levels. C. By excluding difficult reading materials from the curriculum. D. By offering no follow-up to the test results. 24. Which method is most effective in helping adult learners prepare for the DRP test? A. Focusing only on memorizing vocabulary lists. B. Engaging in extensive reading across different genres with regular comprehension checks. C. Practicing only with tests that have no real-world relevance. D. Reading without discussing the material with peers. 25. What role does self-reflection play in DRP test preparation? It encourages learners to memorize passages. It helps learners evaluate their understanding and make adjustments to improve comprehension. C. It requires learners to avoid feedback from instructors. B. It has no impact on improving reading comprehension skills. 26. What kind of feedback is most helpful for learners after taking the DRP test? A. Immediate feedback that addresses specific areas of weakness and offers strategies for improvement. B. General feedback that only focuses on scores. C. No feedback, allowing learners to interpret their results independently. D. Feedback that praises fast completion without focusing on comprehension.